Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Don Spector here today with another Donboxing, and I have for you the much appraised Shure S12. Yes, the planar magnetic, which does not utilize the same driver as Timeless or PMV-PP. So this one seems to be, for everything what I've read so far, like their own development. And yeah, additionally, I also did order a pair of Softears liquid silicone tips. And before I start with the Shure, let's take a look at the ear tips. And as comparison here, I already have Aslire Crystal and Final Type E here, so we just can get an optical comparison. Yes, I think this was $15 for two pairs or so originally, not entirely sure. And then you get this nice opening flap at the bottom, which you can easily do. And then I just need to push it out, I suppose. Why not? Come on. Okay. Whoop. And then we already have the tips here. These are really, again, crystal clear. Similar to the crystal, but minus the black thing at the bottom here, at the bottom of the outlet. These are just overall really crystal clear. Can directly see through them. And what they are supposed to do to the sound, I don't know. There was no description at the tips whatsoever. It just says liquid silicone. And I also don't know what liquid silicone actually means, because this one is silicone, this one is basically silicone, this one is as well silicone. So I don't know what that actually does. But it sounded like something I could try, so I got it. So we can already see here that the tip actually is pretty thin. Like this is really a really thin tip. Compared to Final E here, like you can see, this one is at least like twice as thick. And when we take a look at the crystal, also crystal, like probably twice as thick as the liquid silicone one. But judging the outlet, so this is definitely not a mega wide outlet. So this Final E here again, relatively small bore, like I think 3 millimeters or something. And then here, crystal again, like crystal is at least, yeah, 2 more millimeters. So definitely quite a bit different in terms of outlet. Or outlet diameter. Yeah. How does it feel? So the crystal is just barely sticky, just a bit. And finally it's actually very smooth. These are really sticky. They remind me a bit of the normal X-Elastex tips. Just maybe not exactly like one-to-one X-Elastex, but they're really sticky. They aren't much thinner than X-Elastex as well. Let me just try to squish it a bit. So it definitely is soft. I just try to figure out, like, does it stay in shape when you warm it up? Just give it a bit of additional warmth by my fingertips. Does not. So it always shrinks back. And it also has a relatively thick seam around the front edge. Unlike other tips, for instance the Final E, they have definitely a smaller seam around the front edge, as you can see here. And then, oopsie, almost sprang off. X-Elastex also relatively thin-edged compared to these. I gotta be honest, I'm not sure if these will fit me. This is size SS, doesn't even specify the packaging, like nowhere. But that's the smallest they had. And I'm not sure if these will actually fit me. I mean, they are not like wide, but compared to my Final E's, you can see this is at least like 2 millimeters more. So yeah, it could be too wide for me. And then the thick edge at the front here, I'm also not entirely sure how that will work for me. But I definitely will give it a try and give them a full review later on. But at least judging by the material thickness and by the general, like how it feels, I'm not sure it will work for me. But yeah, I'll still give it a fair review and see how we do. Okay, then let's remove the tips. And take a look at the start of the show here, the Shure S12. So let's see if I can open it without a knife, or if I need one. Okay, I will probably need a knife, so whoop, knife out. Whoop. Remove. Zoop. I have not seen any unboxing of the S12, so this is also my premiere. I don't know what I'll be getting. I literally have never seen them in the box. I just have seen them, like how they look, and then somebody arranges them nicely and takes a good picture. and plastic paper. Away it goes. So we get an outer cardboard layer, which is nice and smooth removal. Boop, 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 boop. That's good. And then we get let sure. I don't even know what sure doesn't mean anything in English. I'm not entirely sure. But we get a really thick cardboard. Look at this. It's not entirely like evenly distributed. Like this edge definitely thinner than this. But that's a really nice thick cardboard we got here. And then it's also here again, smooths out relatively smoothly. We get our manual, which is, it's in fold up? It's in fold up. Don't like fold up. Oh, and we also get a poster. Oh yeah, great, we get a poster. Oh, but there's some frequency response already here. So, judging by this is reshaped, maybe a bit brighter, which is probably also what most other people measured. So yeah, we're probably not faking anything here. Then let's take a look at what accessories we get before we take a look at the actual IEM. And so these are foam tips. I think they're all the same diameter. Well, no, they're not. The left one here is actually thinner than the middle one, but the right one does look to be the same diameter. So let's take a quick look at the foams here. How does it feel? Squishy, but it not bouncing back fast, so that might be real memory foam here. There's an inner core made out of silicone here, so that will be good for sound. But I already think if I would be using foam, I will probably still cut it a bit shorter. Because, yeah, I'm not a fan of long foam tips. Then we get ourselves the number here. Checker 1, or let's check. This is what version I got, and this is further information of the QR code. Okay, then let's take a look at charging, the carrying case. It's a bit bouncy here, not with, like most sturdy boy I've had at this price point. Zipper has at least a nice thing to handle here. Oh, but it's not smooth. That's not a smooth zipper. You also get an additional like hook here to put it on whatever. Then in here we get more ear tips. Silicate gel, don't need you. You go back. Let's see what tips we get. Okay, let's first take a look at these tips. I have this exact pair of tips, or this exact version of tips already with an other in here. I think it might be with the LZ-A7. Exactly the same thing. Yep. One-to-one the same thing that comes with the LZ-A7. So those are actually pretty decent. On the A7, I think they were the base tips, I think. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, nothing special with these. And let's take a look at the black ones. What different things do we get? Those seem to be a bit small. Let me just double check. Yep, those are a bit smaller, and the nozzle seems to be, or the outlet seems to be a bit bigger and slightly curved outside, like slightly horn shaped. So those could maybe even fit my ears from what I see here at least. Zip. Then let's take a look at the cable. Doesn't seem to be particularly awesome, I would say. Let me just unwrap it. Give it a quick stretch to see how smooth it gets. Okay, we got a strain release here that actually is soft enough. It could be a bit longer though, but this should at least do a tiny bit. Then, yeah, this additional texture here so you can grab it a bit better. I think it's a bit too small, could be a bit bigger here. And the cable generally, let me just move the box. It's not mega smooth, but it's also not mega janky. So it's somewhere in the middle. But it does look pretty unique though. I don't think I've seen a cable that has this style of like braiding where like, it's like, no, not braiding, but like weaving. And then the cable inside is also like weaved so it has texture on it. That definitely does look decent. And it's a bit sticky though. It's not the smoothest or like the, yeah, not the most stickless cable. When we get this is, I think, is it aluminium? I think it's aluminium. And then we go on top. And here, double checking. I think this might be the same diameter. Let's get it correctly in picture. I think it's the same diameter. So we really just have two like cores outside and then it goes up. Oh, the chin slider is not, it's pretty slidey, but you can see it here. It just slides almost on its own. So that will not, yeah, it will not hold onto anything. Okay, and then let's go on top. Here we have the ear hooks. nice big hook around, and relatively thin rubberized. Like, it does seem to be thicker on the first glance, but if you just see, because the cable over here is actually relatively thick, this is like actually thin and not really as stringy as others. And here we get a 2-pin connector, which is a bit odd because it's just ever so slightly pushed out here, so like 0.5 millimeter maybe. And then let's take a look at the IEM. So I'm not sure which color this is, but yeah, this is a solid metal IEM. Definitely does feel a bit heavier than other IEMs I've had at similar price points. And then they go for this accessory around here with the not sparkly but shiny edge. I can't say I'm a fan of that, but at least it now does a bit, right? So probably better than nothing. It's a 2-piece design, front faceplate, front plate, and then the plate around it. It does not seem to be particularly, fingerprint magnety, so that's nice. And then we have this nozzle here, which is not mega long. It's slightly contoured like ears. Could be a bit strong contoured, but this is more like general audience shaped, I would say. Does seem to be well made from at least what I see. And then you have a pressure hole here and a pressure hole up here. So I have read a few comments saying that this can have driver flags. So I'm not entirely sure because I hate driver flags. So that could maybe kill it, but doesn't have to. And then we have an R&L marking on top. Okay, let me just find the cable. This is L, this is R. Nice that we get a red accent here. So I know where it needs to go. Whoop. Pushed in. And pushed in. So there's a hole. Relatively heavy. The cable is definitely not light, but I like cables that actually feel like they have something, and this one definitely belongs to that. Okay, I think that's it so far with the unboxing. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, if you have criticisms, if you have any other feedback, please leave a comment. And with that, Dawn Spector.